Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. And OMG, it actually exists. The Everrain, it actually showed up. I think I've been waiting for this game for like 4 years or something, and it finally showed up a couple weeks ago. I've been kind of holding off on doing an unboxing so I can do an unboxing on camera for everybody because I know people like to see those, and I'm very excited. Now, I know there's been a lot of drama about this Kickstarter. It's been delayed, and then the company asked for more money for shipping because they mismanaged their funds and all of that. That has not really tempered my excitement for the game. I think I'm going to like this quite a bit, if only because it's a theme that I really do love. This kind of nautical, Cthulhu-esque, weird fiction fantasy style theme. And I've heard that the rulebook is pretty bad, so I'm not looking forward to learning the game, but I am looking forward to playing the game and also checking everything out. So I just did the base pledge, and the base pledge included the base game here, so we'll take a look at that. And then it also included a few small box expansions. So I've got this Undertow of Madness to take a look at, and then also this Twilight Flood to take a look at, and the Seafarer to take a look at. Yeah, you guys already know what I'm gonna say about this box here. What is with all of the empty space? This could have been in a tiny little box like this big. Look at that. That is just a joke. I hate that, guys. Come on, make the boxes the right size for the game. So let's take a look at the back of this box here. That looks awesome. All right, so what does this say here? The world is drowning. When the Everrain began, no alarms were rung, no calls to action cried. But as the weeks became months and the months flowed into years, the rain would not cease. It kind of sounds like California right now. The years are elapsing, and not a moment passes where the oppressive and suffocating sky does not mock us with its endless torrents. There is a great evil coming. It will arrive and unmask the world, whether we choose to believe in its existence or not. Perhaps I am too late, and my discoveries only burden me with the knowledge of the inevitable. Yet I cannot succumb to such invasive notions. Actions must be taken, or a watery grave will be our shared fate. So this says, step into the world of the Everrain, a cooperative, story-driven exploration game for 1 to 4 players. I'm imagining that it plays something like Arkham Horror or Eldritch Horror, just on a map that is represented with water and islands, with some ship management as well. Hopefully the ship management is more well-defined and easier to understand than the ship management in Skull Tales. Speaking of Skull Tales, we will be taking another look at Skull Tales sometime in the near future with the updated rulebooks, which they have recently released. I am glad I kept my Skull Tales stuff, and I'm hoping that those new rulebooks make the game easier to learn. Anyways, each player heads out into the dark and foreboding world as the captain of their own ship, and can explore islands, hire crew, upgrade their vessel, plunder shipwrecks, and engage in naval and close quarters combat with the dark entities of the old ones. All of this is done to reach the ultimate goal of learning the dark truth behind the Everrain and stopping it before it is too late. Explore a procedurally generated map that is never the same twice. Customize your ship to your play style. A fearsome war frigate, an agile trading vessel, a noble ship of science, and anything in between is possible. Assemble a unique band of sailors, each with their own randomly generated traits that change their behavior and skill set. Experience hundreds of unique multi-part stories, each with its own challenges and rewards. Gather clues to discover how to stop the Everrain, but do it in the way of your choosing. Engage in thrilling ship-to-ship and on-deck combat. Interrogate captured enemies. Utilize trade routes, ferry passengers, plunder shipwrecks, explore islands, and so much more. Well, that definitely does make this game sound exciting. This is one of the last kind of really big Kickstarters that I have been waiting for. I haven't been backing very many big games, and this is one of the last ones to trickle in. So let's hope it's a good one. It's been pretty hard for me to keep this thing sealed up. So I just want to let you guys know I've been practicing a lot of self-control. This has been sitting out in my living room like the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've just been focusing on other things on the channel. I'm going to make some room here. All right, so let's open this guy up. Pretty big box. Not quite sure where I'm going to store it. All right, looks like everything's in shrink wrap inside as well. I think I'm going to take a pause real quick. I'm going to get the map set up underneath the box, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back with the map set up underneath the box. And if you guys hear a bunch of noise, people down the street decided today to cut down a bunch of trees or something, or do a bunch of tree trimming. So you might be hearing some noise. I'm not sure if that is picking up on the camera or not. But, all right, well, it looks like we've got our chits here right on the top, our punch boards. We've got 1A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 7 punch boards. So it looks like we have some money in here, some kind of tokens there to keep track of maybe some bad things. Same on the back there. We've got more money, more tokens. Not quite sure what any of these do yet. Pretty nice quality. They feel good. Cardboard is cardboard for the most part. Usually you can expect a certain kind of quality in a Kickstarter product, especially something this large. And here we have our tiles. So the tiles are pretty interesting. I know you do have a kind of a randomly generated map on each game. I know this is not a campaign game, so that's one of the things that I am excited about. The tiles do look nice. We have different kinds of water terrain, more calm water or more storm waters. We have shipwrecks and different islands that you can visit. And then those will fit on these map pages like this as you are exploring. So that's pretty cool. I do like that quite a bit. It's kind of a dungeon crawl tile system, but for the open seas. Okay, so we've got some tiles there. And then these, I believe, are either for your captains or for your crew members, and they will have certain powers that will show up underneath these, and you can keep track of their trauma and strain. So you have quite a few of those, I believe. Yeah, here's all of those, all of our little placards here for deckhands. These are all deckhands, all different deckhands that you can hire. And then you have navigators. I guess this is a surgeon there. Maybe the captains don't have their own because maybe we are the captains. Master at arms, surgeons. Yeah, so all kinds of different crew members that you can hire. That is super cool. I love that idea. More tiles here, some named islands, more shipwrecks, it looks like. Unnamed islands. Very cool. All right, we have more tiles. So not a ton of little tiny chits, which I am happy about. And our final punch board here. Looks quite manageable. I do have a couple little boxes for storage. So I'm hoping that I can get all of the small chits in 1 or 2 of these little boxes. That makes things a lot easier. And here we have the rule book. Again, I'm not looking forward to reading this rule book. We'll take a closer look at the rule book in just a minute. Let's see here. Some kind of treasure map maybe or something there. Here we have our placement for our boats. Here we have some kind of like where you can keep track of your inn and your marketplace, your apothecary, the denizen, the university. So a nice chart there to keep track of. I do love that the corners are already rounded. Very nice. I don't have to use my corner punch on these. And yeah, these feel nice. They're just cardboard, but they feel sturdy. And then here we have our player mats, and these are quite large. I am a little worried about how this game is going to fit on my small table. One, I am hoping that it plays well with just a single ship. I'm not sure, a single crew. I don't know if I'll have to have more than one. I will probably have to have this off on a side table on a TV tray that I use, because I'm not sure if this and everything else will actually fit on my small table. But these feel pretty nice too. Now, I know that there were also neoprene mats for these, and I don't remember paying for them, but they must have been included in the base Kickstarter because they did send them to me. I didn't request them or anything. I'm not a fan of neoprene mats, so I know some people are. They look pretty nice, but I don't remember paying for them, and I'm not sure. They must have been part of the base Kickstarter pledge. Now, it actually looks like most of this box is actually miniatures. There aren't a ton of cards. I thought there would be more cards. I'm a little disappointed by that number of cards, to tell you the truth. But I will probably remove the plastic inserts here and put the expansion material in here and just bag up all of these minis, because once you get rid of these plastic inserts, you can store a lot more stuff, especially in a box of this size. Okay, so here's our first tray of minis. Let's take a look at some of these. I know people like to see these, even though I don't really care about these. They look cool. Not amazing quality, not poor quality. They feel good. They're hefty. These guys are cool. These kind of like bloated zombie guys. I think I like the miniatures in Skulltails better. I think the minis in Skulltails are actually really nice. Now, one thing that I am looking forward to with this, and possibly now with Skulltails, is using components from this in games of Pirate Borg. Pirate Borg I recently got, and this is a kind of a retheming of Mork Borg into a pirate setting, but I think it's actually a lot more than just a simple retheming. This book is awesome, and we will be taking a much, much closer look at Pirate Borg in the near future. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to be playing a game of Pirate Borg with Paul from Stone Axe Tabletop Gaming this Saturday over Skype. He will be running a game. We have some reference cards here. And then I also recently picked up 2 of these side quest decks from Inkwell Ideas, and those are High Seas, Pirates and Ports, and Coastal Town Quests. So I think once we combine all of the elements from Everrain and from Skulltails and from Pirate Borg and all of these cards, we will have a nice selection of things to create some really fun custom pirate RPG experiences. And here we have some more enemies. I'm sure that the grays are probably the enemies, and the browns here are probably your crew. They look more human. Oh, not too bad on those. Here we have our real big bad. Let's take this out here. Let me toss this on the floor. Okay, so our big bad here. Yeah, I just I don't know what to think about this. It's so unnecessary. It's not the best sculpt. I mean, those sculpt lines, the seam lines are just huge. Yeah, I don't know. I would have much rather had just a cardboard token to keep track of this guy. Not sure what to do with him. And then here we have our ships. So we have our 4-player ships here, and it does look like each sculpt is at least slightly different. So that's cool. I do like that quite a bit. Yeah, those are nice. Those are really cool looking. And then we also have our enemy ships, so like our ghost pirate ships. And those sculpts all look the same there. Very cool. And then it looks like we have some kind of maybe a mini boss or something here. And then we have some crystals to keep track of certain things. We have some color bases that we can put on our ships to keep track of who is who. Very handy. We have some custom dice. I also got a little bag of custom dice in my box as well. I'm not quite sure what those are used for. So 3 sets of custom dice, and it looks like a single custom D10. So those are nice there. And then we start getting into the cards. So let me take out all the cards here. Oh my gosh, tiny little cards. Look at that. All right, I'm going to put the box on the floor, and I'll be right back, and we'll start taking a look at the cards. Okay, here we have our decks of cards. I would have liked to have seen more cards, I think. I was expecting a few more. I mean, it's a good amount, but you know me. I love cardboard games, and cards are my favorite kind of component. So I always like to see a lot of cards. Now, we also, real quick, we also got a neoprene mat of the map here. I think I actually like the look of the cardboard better on this one. The color is quite a bit different. I like the lighter color here. But there's the map. Now, I heard some people say that it was sized wrong, but I don't think it is. That looks, I guess, a little bit the size. Yeah, I guess it is a little bit off there. You can kind of see when you line up these. Yeah, it is a little bit off, and probably the further you go, yeah, that's once you start lining these up, they don't fit on the map. So they printed the neoprene mat the wrong dimensions. That's fantastic. What a brilliant use of plastic. Back to the cards here. Sorry for that neoprene rant. If you're going to do neoprene mats, at least do them right so it's not a complete waste of plastic. But all right, so let's start opening the cards here. Let's take a look at the cards. Maybe now would be a good time to flip to the rulebook so we can kind of know what kind of cards we are looking at. So we do have a table of contents. Component breakdown. We have 91 sea events, 21 expedition events, 62 denizens, 29 treasure cards, 44 improvement cards, 30 artillery cards, and 19 enemy cards. 1 ongoing story cover, 5 reference sheets. And then we have 283 tokens. We have 16 crew order, navigation order, artillery order. I think it's a little bit of a kind of worker placement, action selection style game when you are dealing with your ships. So that's kind of cool. Basic concepts, front and back. All about your shipboard. I mean, the rulebook does look nice. It looks like it has a lot of examples of how things are labeled and what the various things on the various components mean. So that's always nice to see. The general consensus is that the game is pretty difficult to learn from the rulebook. I'm not sure which elements are. I haven't looked into it in that much detail. Hopefully it's not an overwhelming experience. Hopefully it's easier than something like Skull Tales to learn. I haven't heard I thought that game was kind of unplayable, at least the ocean part, the seafaring part of Skull Tales I felt was unplayable with the rules as written, and I haven't heard that this is that bad. I've just heard it's a little difficult. But looks okay to me. Looks like it's got some nice art. The world of Everrain. This is cool. I like seeing this kind of world lore and story building that you can read to kind of get more into the game. So yeah, that's cool. All right. So we have our large cards here. Let's see what these are. Looks like these are kind of bosses here. We have Avatar of the Undergod, and 3 Avatars of the Undergod, Herald of the Great Flood. All right. And then here it looks like these are all of our quick reference cards. I always like when games include quick reference cards. Locations, dice, key terminology, spoils for clues, things you can find, indelible traits, negative traits, and positive traits. So these are different things. I believe these traits are things that you assign or that your crew members gain over the course of their adventures. We have different locations. We have altars, enemy ships spawning locations, shipwrecks, storms, calm seas, rough seas, islands, and ports. We have different dice. So the brown colored dice are your attack dice. We have blue evasion dice, red enemy dice conversion chart there, key terminology, general concepts, crew death and ship sinking, a round order, advance along the discovery track, and the end of an act. I've also heard the game is quite long, especially with a full complement of 4 players. I will most likely be playing this game just solo. I am thinking about, I think Pete Jank is going to come over, the designer of Quest for the Lost Pixel. We've been talking a little bit, and I think he is interested in playing this. So I might just play a 2-player game with Pete and see how that goes. All right, so these are the 91 sea events. So we have sea events with the ship on the back. We have 21 expedition events. Maybe there were some larger expansions that added more random encounters. I'm not sure. I hardly ever go all in on a Kickstarter. I'm usually just do the base game. So more sea events. Okay, that's actually a pretty good amount of random encounters for the sea. I think I can be down with that. We have our expeditions here. These are, what are these here? Some kind of story card. Ongoing. This is an ongoing story cover. These are the denizens. So these are the different people you might meet. Okay. And then we have our small cards. Looks like these are the treasure cards here. Different kinds of treasure. And then we also have X marks the spot. These look like treasure cards as well here. Schematic. Yeah, not sure what those are, but I'm sure we'll find out at some point. Here we have our, what are these? Improvement cards. So things that we can improve our ship with. And then these are enemy cards, different enemies that we might fight. Okay, so we'll take a look at these individually now. So here are the sea event cards, 91 sea event cards. These are all random encounters. No art on the back, but it looks like they do have some cool little story snippets and possibly a choice. Let's read one at random. You are stirred from slumber by the faint but unmistakable sounds of someone crying. Ready to comfort a homesick sailor, you are taken aback by what greets you on deck, a specter floating listlessly in the air and glowing with ethereal luminescence. It softly weeps into its hands, seemingly unaware of your presence. Perhaps communing with the spirit will elucidate the situation. You have a choice. Talk to the spirit. Suddenly aware of your presence, the ghost utters, "Oh, Charles," and disappears. Plus 52. I have no idea what that means. But leave it be. Though seemingly posing no threat, an apparition's present is deeply unsettling. All crew suffer one strain. So some of these have choices. Some of these have an epilogue. It looks like I probably shouldn't have shuffled those up. Cut the deck like I did because it looks like they are in number order. So you want to keep those probably in that number order. I'll have to go through and put those back in number order. Rookie mistake there. All right. And then we have some expedition cards. Epilogue, expedition, a journey. Let's read one of these. It was indeed naive to hope that anything would come of your chance meeting in the inn, and you regretted investing so much hope into the encounter. What that was until you discovered the very same hooded individual awaiting your arrival on the beach. So you think yourself capable of turning back the drowning tide? Our aid is not given lightly, and many enemies have come to us in the guise of allies. Share with us your purpose and what you have learned, and we will contemplate your intentions. Okay, looks like it kind of has maybe a building story, something like FFG's Fallout game, or maybe Eldritch Horror 3rd Edition. This is kind of like your archive of cards, of story cards. And then here we have our denizens. So these are all people, things you will meet. A renowned cartographer, drunken captain, sheriff's deputy, Corbett Parlow, a bunch of various NPCs. That's cool. And then more story cards for when you meet your denizens. So, all right, okay. I'm a little happier with the kind of cards that we get. I think it's a good amount. You know, this isn't a lifestyle game. This isn't one of those games you're supposed to play forever. Hopefully it's one of those. I'm hoping it's kind of maybe like a game like Big Trouble in Little China, where it's a really good game to play once, maybe twice a year. Here we have our enemies. So we have cultists, drowned men, Harbinger, the damned frigate, the malign cruiser, the wicked brigantine, a worm, a bloated cadaver, and another cultist. And then we also have our various upgrade cards. So these are all the ways that we can upgrade our ships with ample munitions, a brig, different cabins, a corpse locker, a dinghy, diving bell, a greater hold, loose ballast, nimble rudder, ship's boat, sick bays, studies, more ample munitions, schematics, more diving bells. And then we have our treasure cards here. Lumber. These are different kind of like materials. Rum. A curious idol. That looks like something straight out of Call of Cthulhu there. Tablet shards. Holloway Joe. Oh, you can collect sea shanties. Very cool. Get some Assassin's Creed Odyssey going on. And yeah, I'm not sure what these are. Different schematics for neglected chase gun, bastard culverins, bronze 18-pounders, gilded serpentines, minion drakes, rusted saker. All right. So that's all of the cards. That's everything from the base game. Oh wait, nope. We still have this tiny little deck of cards here. I only have one other game that has a deck of cards this small, and it's that little tiny box dungeon crawl, Temple of Terror, Crypt of Terror, I can't remember. These are very small little cards, and these will be your little keywords here. Astute, belligerent, blessed, endearing, extroverted, sea dog, seasoned, selfless, spirited, and tuneful. When you really need to knock a sea shanty out of the park there, get a tuneful crew member to help you out. And then we have here beloved, cottish, clumsy, degenerate, hesitant, listless, quarrelsome, and weary. Probably want fewer of these and more of these if I was a betting man. That would probably be a safe bet. Okay, now let's do a quick look at these expansions. So this is the Seafarer. The Kickstarter exclusive add-on contains a new type of special crew, the cooks, whose hearty meals are the backbone to any good ship. As well as this, the add-on contains unique sea event and denizen cards. All right, so this box is just absolutely overflowing with content here. And I'm not going to be keeping these boxes, so I don't really care about quality of keeping them nice. Okay, so we have a couple little placards for our cooks here. We have 2 cooks. We will get a male cook mini and a female cook mini. 2 chefs there. I like how she has this giant tentacle she's carving up to eat. That is pretty cool. We have some more custom dice. It looks like those are the same as those. I wonder if these replace these. I'm not sure. Very cool. So we'll hire a couple of cooks, and then we will also get a couple cards here. So this is probably how you will meet your cooks along the way with this denizen, maybe, or we also have some more cards to add to our event decks. All right, so those will be added in. I have a feeling I'll just play with everything mixed in from the beginning. It seems like it's just one of those kind of games. So this here is the Twilight Flood. This expansion adds a new type of crew member, the Master Gunners, with their unmatched prowess in naval warfare, and 2 new enemy types. Okay, that's cool. I always like when when the bestiary gets expanded. The maniacally arcane cultist summoners and the hulking and monstrous abhorrence, as well as a new and unique sea event, expedition, and denizen cards. Just as inevitable as is the sunrise, so too will the Twilight Flood soon be upon us all. All right. At least this box has a little more in it. Not quite as much wasted space here. Especially if these are exclusives, they were never going to go to retail, or were they? Maybe they are. Yeah, even the exclusive one does have a barcode. Very strange. I don't know. I could see, like, if these were going to retail, I would understand the big box. If they aren't going to retail, it makes a lot less sense to me. But again, I seem to be one of the only people that cares about box size, so I'll shut up about it for now. Here we have our Master Gunner placards. And then we have our 2 new Master Gunner minis. Those guys seem pretty cool. We have our cultist summoners here. So 3 cultist summoners. And these 2 big bad boys here must be the abhorrence. And then we have 2 little decks of cards here. So these will be our enemy cards here for our 2 abhorrence and our 3 cultist summoners. Okay. Add those to the enemy stack. And then we have our event cards here. So I think there's about 17 or so new event cards in this expansion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, and then there were 5 cards there. So we have dubious practitioner, eager phrenologist, and Crawford Bane, of Blightwater. We have a few more, some denizen story cards and some expedition cards and some sea cards there. I'll have to go through and just make sure that all of these are in the proper order. Hopefully it's not too much of a hassle to keep everything in order as you are playing and resetting up a game. And then finally here, we do have the Undertow of Madness. This expansion adds 2 new types of uniquely able special crew, the academics and the merchants, and 2 new enemy types, the Alkalite Speaker and the Alkalite Bloodletter, to the game, as well as a new and unique sea event, expedition, and denizen cards. An Undertow of Madness threatens to disturb what passes for peace in this world on the brink of annihilation. Okay, so this one we actually get 2 new types of crew member here. So we get merchants and academics, 2 of each. Here we have the minis for those. Oh, those are cool. I like these guys a lot. That's like a big hat Logan there. Very cool. Those must be the merchants. Actually, this might be a merchant too. Yeah. Very reminiscent of a certain merchant from a certain video game there that is being re-released in a remade form soon. Resident Evil 4. I'm really looking forward to that. I've played that game so many times on so many systems, but my God, that remake looks amazing. And then here we have our new enemies here. Some kind of church lantern guys there. Yeah, a lot of these will be really good. I can actually also see These minis actually being pretty good for games of like Forbidden Psalm or something. Very kind of dark, twisted, kind of weird fantasy minis that could be used for Morkborg and Forbidden Psalm. And of course, Pirate Board. Very useful stuff. Hopefully they make a Pirate Board skirmish game. That would be really fun. Okay, so let's see our enemy cards here real quick. So we have our Alkalite Bloodletter. That's these guys with the, looks like they have the umbrella swords there. Some Kung Fu guys. So one of my favorite movies of all time, I think I've mentioned this, one of my favorite fantasy movies is Pirates of the Caribbean 3 at World's End. I think that movie is relentlessly weird. And so this kind of, to me, looks like it really does capture that tone of that movie. And that's one of the main reasons why I am looking forward to playing and experiencing this game so much. And finally, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 new encounter cards. So yeah, this is cool. This is a good expansion. And here we have all of our sea encounter cards here. And then we have our one new expedition encounter card. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new denizen encounter cards: Hindered Appearance, Warehouse Clearance, Professor Loathskill, and a couple new story tests or story cards. So, all right, you guys. Well, that was a very detailed look and unboxing of the Everrain, the base Kickstarter pledge. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have learned the game, if you have any tips on things to learn and tips of getting the game learned and played, let me know in the comments. So we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.